But let's just zoom out a little bit macro. Maybe we'll feed that into tonight. But this team has been on a good run, obviously, and it feels like tonight they had that banger of a goal there, and then you guys found a lot of the ball kind of later in the match. Is that something to build off of as you look to put together some really big points during a very big time of the season?
It was a really strange game. Um, from how kind of the first 15 minutes with Joe Calderon getting the concussion really made the first 50 minutes really kind of broken up, and there was no real momentum or anything in the game. We looked at the clock and we're like a minute 20 and the game hadn't got going yet because of all these things that really kind of broke up the rhythm of play. And that really played in their hands. That's what they wanted.
Sure.
They slowed the game down at every opportunity, and made the game a little messy and quite boring. And we didn't do a good enough job of speeding it up when we had the opportunity to do that. So yeah, I think it was just, and obviously he scores that great goal from 25 yards out, puts it top corner, gives no one any chance. Can we get a little bit more better pressure on the ball? Probably. But he's put one in that, he'll do one a year maybe, if that. And we just couldn't really get going. It was like we had a lot of the ball. We threatened a lot. We were there in the box, around the box, but we never really seemed to get that good chance or a shot on target. A lot of things went over or wide. So yeah, just kind of in comparison to our last two games where the energy was high and we're on the front foot and we're setting the tone. I felt tonight that LAFC set the intensity and it was very low, and we wanted the opposite of that. We weren't able to kind of inject that into the game.
Is that something you feel like the guys can learn from as you head down the stretch? I mean, you're in playoff position right now. It's all about kind of holding on to that and maybe improving yourself a little bit. But to try to get into the postseason, is that something to learn from? To hey, like we've got to set the tone if we want to be
Yeah,
with
yeah,
one of those top half
yeah.
clubs.
No, it's right. I don't think it's something that young players can learn overnight.
Sure.
It's an experience thing, a feel for the game, how the game's playing out, and kind of being able to turn it in the direction you want to turn it in. It's not something that I think we'll be able to fix or get better at this season. It's just a matter of games and weeks and months and years really of just football under their belt, where they start to feel a game and then can go and influence it. But the reality was it wasn't good enough tonight from anybody. Did we deserve to lose the game? No, but we didn't deserve to win it either, I don't think. It's probably a 0-0 game. We just have to find a way, like you said, if we want to stay in those spots, those playoff spots, and kind of finish the season off strong. We have to find a way to get back to setting the intensity of the game and not letting the opposition do that.
Great. Yeah, kind of find points when even if you can just scrape whatever points
Yeah.
you can out of it in a lot of
Yeah.
ways. It feels like, and we were talking a little bit about this up in the stands when Matthew came in. First of all, it caught our notice because he makes his debut tonight. Great to see him. I think out there on the pitch. What did you see from him in particular? And I realize it's probably unfair to ask about the 30 minutes or so that he got there, but do you feel like you saw something out of him where he can really give you something for this kind of final late season
Yeah,
push?
he can. I mean, he gives an injection of speed, on the dribble, which he did 2 or 3 times. When he gets turned, he breaks away from players. He put a lovely ball through for Jesus one-on-one. Their goalie did well, and that was kind of the theme of the night. We'd get into those areas and their goalie would do really well, or the centre back would make a last-ditch tackle, and you're like, it was like a final for them, and that's how it felt for them, I think, which really should have felt like that for us as well, because every game at this point is so important. But Matthew did great when he came on. We know he can give us a lot of quality in the final third, and when we need that kind of injection of speed going forward, he can bring that as well. He's obviously been injured all year, with some hamstring issues. He's had a couple of good weeks of training, so he earned that tonight. And I hope he can just continue to build on that. And we'll see how much we can get out of him between now and the end of the season. There's no expectations. We've got quite a settled group, and we've got a good attacking players in, Marcos, Jesus, Aiden, Owen. We've got a plethora of players that can play there. And having Matthew, though, gives us a different look when we need it.